Hey guys, so today I thought I'd talk about a topic that maybe might be a bit confronting, but what I thought I'd do is just share my own experience of the true driver of my pain. So, for many, many, many years, I really believed that the pain was physical. So, I would focus on all physical aspects of my pain. And, I looked at things like diet, I looked at things like moving my body more, I looked at all the physical things I could do. What supplements could I take? What herbal remedies could I take? Like, I was obsessed with things that I could do externally to try and resolve my pain because it was intense and it didn't matter how much I did. It seemed to just like continue and it was just this niggly feeling like it was always there. And I guess I'm sharing this because I know that we can get into this whole kind of almost perfectionism state when it comes to trying to alleviate our pain. Like, we think that if we just have the perfect diet or the miracle supplement or something external that we can control, that somehow that's going to resolve our pain. And sometimes that works because we believe it so strongly. Like, we actually think, okay, if I have this perfect diet and I take these perfect supplements and I do all these things, then I'm doing all the perfect things. And so because we've convinced ourselves of that, we do feel a relief. And I'm not saying that those things don't benefit us. They certainly do. But there's more to it. And this is something that a lot of us maybe don't want to confront, or we're not ready. Like, it's all part of a journey. So don't feel like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about, because you may not be there yet. It's part of a journey, it's part of an experience, and sometimes we just need to go through stuff. Sometimes we need to recognize stuff. And maybe this is just the seed for you, and you'll look at this and go, yes, I totally get what Mel was saying at that point. So what I want to talk about is really the real pain, and that's the emotional pain that's maybe sitting in your body. So maybe it's an emotional pain of not feeling loved or not feeling worthy or not feeling good enough, and that you've suppressed that feeling, you've pushed it down. Maybe it's bigger than that. Maybe you've been through a bad experience sexually or, in your family. Or maybe it relates somehow to having children or experiencing a loss in that area. For me, the pain was guilt. And it's something I still struggle with. It's just a tendency I seem to have, is to feel guilty and take responsibility for everything and anything, even if it's not even my responsibility. I seem to just take things on board and make it my responsibility. And I think it comes back to this feeling of wanting to be needed and wanting to be recognized. And so the thing that drove my pain for so many years was a feeling of guilt around a brother that my sister and I lost. My mom lost a son, my dad lost a son, and I was only 6 years old. And what happened was my mom had asked me to pray for our brother, who was in hospital at the time and was really ill. And she said that I needed to pray and then he would get better. And so I prayed and I prayed really, really hard. And I believed that if I just prayed hard enough that he would survive. Unfortunately, he didn't. And so I blamed myself and I felt guilty about that. I felt that I'd not prayed hard enough. I'd not done enough to change that. In my 6-year-old mind, you can imagine that this was huge, and the guilt of that was huge. I never shared this with anyone. It was only through uncovering the layers of where this pain was coming from that I kind of recognized that a lot of it stemmed from guilt, and often a feeling of guilt around not doing enough, not being enough. And I couldn't understand why it was so strong. And then I recognized that the story that I told myself when I was 6 years old was a big driving factor. So I want you to kind of look at your own journey of your life and look at what you might be holding on to. And guilt is a big driver of pain in the body. So oftentimes women experience guilt and they cling to that and they take on responsibilities, or they feel that they have played a part in something that has resulted in something bad and that it was their fault. So see for yourself, what have you got that you're holding on to? What is holding in your body that is has caused you pain in the past? What has caused you emotional pain? Because to be honest, until you shift that, until you shift those feelings and you let that out, no amount of physical stuff can truly alleviate that deep inner pain. It will help to a point, but ultimately we need to look at what is the deeper driver of that pain, what is the deeper driver of that inflammation in your body. And oftentimes it relates back to some emotional burden that's held in the body. So I hope you're ready to hear this message. I hope you're open to exploring what could be going on for your body. And if it resonates with you, feel free to share your comments, feel free to share your thoughts. I love to help women along this journey and really embrace all possibilities of what could be going on for them. So if you haven't heard, we are doing a free giveaway this month. It's all about strategies to alleviate pain with endo. So grab yourself a copy. The link is just below. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to catching up with you next time. Bye.